Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. One of the surprise packages of 2017, for me anyway, was the Spectre Time Phantom. This is a very much a Gerald Genta inspired AP Royal Oak type watch. I had a couple of bites at this one last year. I unboxed it when they were selling them on pre-order at $199 and I then did a follow-up review at $279, which was the regular price. And I really quite liked the watch. Indeed, the black dial model sold out, so I wasn't the only one that liked it. But I did have a few moans and niggles, don't I always? Indeed, the fact that the Phantom used the Miyota 8215 unleashed to the world the kittens of rotor noise doom for the very first time. I suggested a couple of revisions if there ever was going to be a Phantom 2 I would love to see included, and guess what I'm wearing on my wrist right now? The Phantom 2. Yes, that's right folks, the Phantom is back. So did Spectre Time listen to little old me when they came up with this new model? Well, they did a little bit, and I think they listened to some of you as well. Gulshan, the owner of the company, is an avid Instagrammist, and he took various dial designs to Instagram and took feedback on board as to what people preferred. Why don't more companies do that? Actually take the feedback of the users they're selling the watches to in the first place? I don't know. So if you're interested in the Phantom 2, you will find a discount code in the description of the video. It's not 10% or 20%, it's 25%. That takes a $600 watch down to $450 US. They're taking pre-orders for these now. They're shipping them in February or March next year. So my review today is going to be on that basis, that you pick this one up for $450 US. I'll obviously discuss what happens if you miss out on the pre-order and you're buying this one later on at 600 bucks. Alright, let's flip the camera and do some analysis. Before the analysis commences, I would just like to point out that I have not been paid for this review. It doesn't bother me whether you buy one of these or not. This certainly isn't 5 reasons why the Spectre Phantom is better than the AP Royal Oak, because it isn't. But it is an awful lot cheaper than the AP Royal Oak. These things will run you 5 figures, and there's clearly a demand for AP homages, from the infamous Bagel Sport and D-Done designs, which will sting you less than 100, up to this one that I saw recently, made in the USA, but for $2,500. Now that's what you call a premium homage. So at either $450 or $600 US, depending on when you're watching the video, this Phantom 2 is to the AP Royal Oak what a Squally or a Steinhart is to the Rolex Submariner. Kind of similar price differential there. That's the slot in the marketplace where this Phantom 2 fits in. So I'm going to start with dimensions and specifications. I've got a loom video and a movement accuracy report, and then I'm going to get this one on wrist. 39mm, so it's shrunk from the Phantom 1. The Phantom 1 was 41, this is only 39. Less than 12mm thick, and the lug tip to lug tip, debatable because of those integrated lugs. I'm going to call it at 48mm. Now, lug width is one thing I cannot help you with because of the integrated bracelet. All of these will come with a free leather strap as well, but you're not going to be putting collar ebbs on this one on the weekend because you're stuck with the integrated bracelet or with the choice of one strap. But the bracelet, I must say, is a cracker. You're probably not going to be taking it off this one all that often. 316L stainless steel case, crown and bracelet. Kind of 3-piece case there, as you can see, and it weighs in at 155 grams on the supply bracelet anyway. As you'd expect, the Phantom features a dead flat sapphire crystal with AR coating on the underside. We've also got sapphire on the back, so it's a sapphire sandwich with this one today. And the finishing is pretty nice. This is a prototype, so it's had a little bit of use and abuse to this point. Mixture of brush and polish. We've got a little polished lip to the upper bezel. Nice brushing on the bezel. We've got a horizontal brush on the side of the case. Spectre Time logo on the screw down crown, giving this one 100 meters of water resistance as well. There is, however, a bit of a transition in finishing between the case and the bracelet. We go straight from a horizontal brush on the mid case to a high polished side of the bracelet, so that is slightly unusual. The lugs are also brushed, and you've got that nice little chamfered edge transitioning between the mid case and the lug. And the bracelet, as noted, is really very nice indeed. Quite a kind of discreet brush. The last one, the Phantom 1, was quite shiny. This one is a little bit smoothed out. Smooth transition to the sides, there's a little beveled edge to each of those links as well. Now they catch the light, but they don't perhaps catch it quite as violently as the Phantom 1 did. Big upgrade in terms of the bracelet on this one. It is very nice indeed, very comfortable bracelet to wear as well. Proper screw links in here also, and a butterfly clasp, meaning the watch sits very nicely on your wrist, nice and symmetrically, as you would expect for one of these integrated bracelets. Zoomed right in on the dial, and I'm sure you noticed that prominent cushioning all the way around, the kind of cushion pattern all the way around that kind of outer circular rim. In a recess, very plain there, just with Phantom 2 and automatic, the Spectre time logo, having the index at 12, and likewise we've got a little date frame nicely integrated actually down there above the index at 6, again truncating that one. Now the indexes themselves, kind of batons, but there's a little bit of detailing there. High polished silver around the outside and lume filled white indices in the middle. Now I put up a lume video now, C1 Superluminova, so it's got that nice bright colour to it. Not the best lume I've seen, it's not dive watch standard, but it is certainly passable for this style of Thule type watch. And as a good Genta AP type homage, it's got those 6 very prominent screws around the outside. Now I'm guessing they're just for decoration, judging by the fact that each one of them is pointing in just the direction that you'd be hoping for it to point. Quite simple fence post hands, not all that large, and a little needle silver second hand there, no lume on that one. Now Swiss Movement advertised just below the 6 o'clock baton. Swiss Movement, but not Swiss made. I'd imagine this one is made somewhere near Singapore, where Spectre time are based. Now popping a link to have a look at the screw down case back, there's going to be some minor detailing change here, but that's pretty much what you could expect with production models. And perhaps you notice, quick release bracelet. Now I've never seen a quick release bracelet on a watch before. I guess because it's integrated they can pretty much custom spec this one the way they want it. Those little levers are going to be slightly smaller on production models than they are on this prototype, but I didn't notice them in operation anyway. Now the movement in this one, Swiss made as noted, 26 jewel. It's not a Sellita 200, it is in fact an STP 111. Now this is another ETA 2824 clone, just like the Sellita 200. They're not all that common though. This was the first one that I had the chance though to run a proper movement accuracy report on, and it came out pretty good. That's a week or two in the boxy winders and coming in just about plus 7 seconds per day, so not bad at all. Pretty much on par with the Sellita 200 and the ETA. So you get 26 joules, it hacks, it hand winds, 28,000 vibrations per hour, leading to 8 ticks of the second hand per second. And because it's an STP, it does look a little bit flashier than a base model Sellita or an ETA. I think that's the advantage of using one of these. You get a nicely pre-decorated movement, custom rota there, but quite a lot of decoration going on in the movement itself. So let's have a look at it on wrist then. There it is sitting on top of my 7-inch wrist. Now, integrated bracelet, that top link there is going to be a little bit more articulated on production models to help guys with slightly smaller wrists, but a relatively compact lug to lug of about 48, even with this integrated bracelet, means it wears pretty nicely. My 7-inch wrist, do like the size. I'm glad that they went down rather than up. 39mm, great kind of sports watch size, and the bracelet is so super comfy. Nice smooth edges to the whole thing. Really does feel great on wrist. 155 grams, but it carries that weight very well. Nicely distributed across the entirety of the watch. And there it is, zoomed out a little further for perspective. Those links playing nicely with my studio lights, but because it is quite a delicate brush, it doesn't shine too much. It's not too uber shiny, uber reflective, which I think is a good thing. And that applies to those links when you get them into natural light as well. The Phantom 1 was a real attention seeker. It did tend to glint and glisten. All of those sharp-sided links really noticeable in the sunshine. This whole watch is a lot more refined and it's a little bit more subdued as a consequence of that. Doesn't shout quite as loudly as the Phantom 1, which I reckon is great. And as you can see there, wears pretty sweetly on a wrist like mine. Moans and niggles then, what am I going to say about this one? I did have a bit of a pop at the Phantom 1 in the full review, mostly because of the Dog Rough 8215 Miyota in it, and it had a one-sided clasp, so that has been rectified there. This one, I don't have that many complaints. It's going to be tricky to get the right size. I'm not sure whether they are going to supply you with half links or whether you're just going to have to take your chances. Maybe wear this one a little bit looser than you normally would because you're dealing with these full links. The only other thing that I can see as being an issue for people is the dial. This prominent tapisserie, the cushioning, I know it's meant to look like the lattice work on a Royal Oak, but it is quite prominent and it's not going to be to everyone's taste. And that Spectre Time logo, it's kind of funny thing, it's a Z really, not an S. That has been noted in previous reviews. But overall, I'm really quite impressed with the Phantom 2. It is a quantum leap forward from the Phantom 1 in terms of the quality. If you pick one of these up at $450, I think you're doing pretty well indeed. Getting a nice, different, everyday style piece, but it isn't a dive watch. Like I said earlier on in the review, think of this as the AP equivalent of a Steinhart or a Squally, and I think you're on the right track, and I think the quality is there. The finishing is nice throughout. It's got the 100 meters of water resistance that a sports watch needs, and the bracelet is fantastic. I think this would be a nice, easy watch to live with on a daily basis if you didn't want to go for a diver on your wrist every day. They're doing a couple of different versions of this one. This, I guess, is going to be the most popular with the black dial and the silver. There's a blue dial and gold, and there's a brown dial and rose gold, which I think looks pretty good as well. So if the Phantom 2 is this much better than the Phantom 1, what are they going to do for the Phantom 3? So there you have it, the Spectre Time Phantom 2 then. I cannot believe how much better the Phantom 2 is than the Phantom 1. You know the law of diminishing returns. You spend 100% more money, your product that you're buying is maybe 50% better than the first one. That's not the case. I appreciate the Phantom was $279 and you're paying at least $450, perhaps $600 if you're watching this video in the middle of next year. The product that you're getting though is definitely 100, 150, 200% better than the old Phantom. So congratulations Spectre Time for managing that. At $450, this one has my recommendation 100%. For $600, I still think there's a lot to like about in this watch. I think it is a very nicely designed watch, feels a lot more expensive than it is. The dial though, that's up to you. That's not going to be to everyone's taste. It is quite full on, but the bracelet is magnificent and it's a proper sports watch now with 100 meters of water resistance. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.